I'm Kerri Gowler.
And I'm Grace Prendergast. And at the moment we're training, trying to make history, competing in the women's pair and women's 8 at Tokyo.
It's going to be an absolute first. If Kerri and Grace can double gold, never happened. I'm trying to think if we've ever had double medals, you know, and so they will just leapfrog into that echelon of people that can win 2 gold medals of Olympic Games.
We did both boats in 2019 and it sort of evolved from we want to win the pair in 2019 and qualify the 8 to, oh, actually the 8's a really good boat, now we want to win both.
Prendergast and Gowler take it up for the finish. It's New Zealand who will be the world champions for 2019.
2019 was sort of like an unexpected year for us.
It was hard because normally if we finish the pair then we're done and everyone's celebrating, and we were so like, recover, we've got another race tomorrow. So I didn't tell anyone. I had the terrible. Like, I had terrible.
We all had our own rooms that shared this, and I think ours was the same. I was like, I can't sleep, but it's only one more day, and I think I'll be fine. I'll be excited tomorrow.
New Zealand have never won the women's 8.
Camera focuses on the Kiwis, transformed their performance by the addition of their women's pair, Grace Prendergast and Kerri Gowler. What will this regatta have taken out of them? Will they have anything left in their legs in the sprint for the line?
New Zealand take the lead with 250 metres to go. What a push from them.
It's the black boat of New Zealand. Amazing race from them in the last quarter. They take the gold medal.
It's pretty incredible, even winning a women's 8, let alone winning both in one year. And I think it's something that we just took the time to like sort of enjoy and actually really celebrate, which is nice because now we've managed to be world champions for 2 years without even having to do anything.
When you start to reflect on it, you're like, wow, like if I had a few years ago been like, you were going to win the women's 8, I would have been like, that's a long shot. It's a big thing to do.
New Zealand!
I think it got a little bit left under the radar, but the fact was that our women's 8 world champions. You know, that was the biggest achievement in an 8s program since we won in 82, 83 in the men's 8 at the World Championships.
It came about probably because we wanted to win 2 medals and we didn't think we could probably win the 8 without Kerri and Grace in it. The way everything worked out in 2019 was spot on, and so that gave us confidence to maybe pursue it again.
I think it is crazy, and it's a crazy thought to think that we might be lining up in both boats in Tokyo, but also just really exciting. I think not many people get this opportunity.
We wouldn't do both boats at the Olympics if we didn't think that they had a chance of winning. I went to Villa Maria and none of my family had rowed before and I didn't really know what it was about or what it involved. Maybe if I knew what it involved, I wouldn't have started, but I did. I guess in my last year of school, I didn't have a big dream of going to the Olympics. That sort of evolved with time. Like I wasn't a kid at 10 dreaming of going because I thought, wow, you've got to be pretty crazy good to go. Even thinking that I've been to the Olympics, I'm like, wow, crazy. Like I would have never thought I would have got there, and it's a bit surreal. And now I'm hopefully about to go to my second one and try to achieve something that not many people have achieved. I used to, think that people that went had to be just specimens, like, you know, like better than everyone else. And now I'm like, oh, it's just normal people that have put in a lot of effort.
I actually remember saying I wanted to go to the Olympics as a horse rider. So like, I guess it was sort of, but just not in rowing at all. I probably didn't even know rowing existed. I was raised in a farm halfway between Wanganui and Palmerston North. I originally was doing show jumping, equestrian, and I quickly figured out that my boat didn't have different moves like my horse did, and the boat was all about me and what I was doing, so I really thrived off that and I loved it.
The national anthem
told me to
of
watch
New
out
Zealand.
for these 2 young women 2 years ago when they came on the scene.
We were both sculling in the summer of 2014, and then we came to trials and I was sort of in the mix with a quad, and then Kerri was sort of in the mix with a double. We turned up to go training in a double, and they're like, oh no, it was meant to be the pair. And we just spent about 3 days training in the pair.
Confused.
Yeah, confused. And then at the end of the week we're named as the under 23 women's pair. I don't really know what the selectors
thinking was.
Yeah.
But I guess we were pretty lucky.
They were always Yeah, they identified early. They were clearly a pair that was going to go places.
2014 was probably just like a bit of a whirlwind year, which started off as maybe a disappointment. Like we both wanted to be in elite sculling teams and we ended up in an under-23 pair, and then we went on to win the under-23s and then win the elites in the floor.
At the time, it was probably a little bit of disappointment because we were like really trying to go for the elite team, and to be put in 23s, it felt like we were demoted. But I think looking back, it's like the best thing that happened, obviously. I guess it just creates a bit of fire as well. Like we probably spent the whole season trying to prove that we should be in the elite team.
Yeah.
They work together incredibly well. Grace is very calm. Nothing flusters her. They're very consistent in everything she does. Just goes about her business. Kerri, she's strong and really is a big driver of the boat when they're in the boat. Very reliable. She's fiercely competitive, as is Grace. They don't like to lose anything.
We are different personalities and different people, so I think we did have to learn that as such.
We had a bit of a rocky time, sort of 2015 and into Rio. Like in 2015 we were in the pair and the 8. And we managed to qualify both at World Champs, and then in 2016 we were only selected in the 8, so missed out on the pair, and I think that taught us so much. But I think going through that disappointment together sort of did bond us more, and like it was nice that when we were put in that situation, we never started to like push against each other. Like it was very much like we shared our disappointment, and
we've dealt with really tough results or tough times really well because we haven't turned on each other, or we haven't gone looking for someone better to row with. And like I think that's all added up to help us now, I guess.
This is the first time a women's 8 from New Zealand has ever qualified for the Olympics, and they find themselves here in an Olympic final with a chance to fight for a bronze medal.
It is going to be the United States through the red boys for another gold medal.
New Zealand and Netherlands, they were right in it, right till the end.
It was really hard, and it probably wasn't until we got back to New Zealand and sort of calmed down and reality hit in, and you had a bit of thinking time, and like initially it was just like huge disappointment, and like it just felt like it just didn't achieve our goals. But I think after a while, like we were able to look at it and see we were the first women's 8 to ever compete at Olympics, and that was amazing. And then to come fourth by such a small margin was so hard, but then also like we were so close.
At the time it was very hard to take, and there's no way that I'd ever say that we really wanted 4th place, but you just have to sort of debrief and look at what you can take from it and the learnings and try and not make it happen again.
I think that one of the main things is that we don't want to come away with 2 4th places. We want to make sure of a medal, and we won't compromise one for the other.
You know, when you line up, it's almost like an even playing field. Like it's just different things ride on an event that only happens every 4 years.
It's no easy task. It's pretty demanding, but you know, we train for it, and they're up for it.
This is the pinnacle. There is nothing better, and you just have to make sure that you are the best prepared you can, and you turn up with the confidence, and you go out there and you just nail that race on that day. And the thing with that race on the day is it's not very fun. There's so much stress, there's so much anxiety, but the maturity that comes into people is where it stands out. And Kerri and Grace have got the maturity, they've done it before, so everything's looking bright, and it's really just up to them to be able to go out there and do it.
It is the ultimate, right? And I think it's what we're working so hard for now and have been for 4 or 5 years. So yeah, I think it would be absolutely incredible, but very aware of everything that's got to go on between now and then. Going
back to 2014, you know, it's been a long time in the planning for them, and hopefully this is their moment.
It honestly makes me a little bit nervous thinking about it. It would honestly be incredible, and I think it would just mean the world to everyone. And I think at the moment we're putting our best foot forward, and whatever result we get. But like I think we're putting ourselves in a position where we definitely have a shot, which is nice.